Before I demonstrate you the configuration and end user processes related to SAP S4HANA Sales module, I will give you a brief introduction to SAP S4HANA Business Suite. And here is the agenda of this lecture. First, I will give you an introduction to SAP S4HANA Business Suite. Then I will demonstrate you SAP S4HANA roadmap. And I will also demonstrate you SAP HANA database in terms of OLTP and OLAP. Then the choice of deployment which we have for SAP S4HANA, such as on-premise, cloud, and hybrid. Then I will demonstrate you the product portfolio of SAP S4HANA with industry specific. And then I will show you its releases or versions till date. And then I will explain you SAP S4HANA key benefits. SAP S4HANA is an ERP business software or business suite developed by SAP SE. SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. What are the products I will show you in the later part of this lecture. ERP represents Enterprise Resource Planning. Enterprise represents company or organization, and resource can be anything related to employees of the company, materials, assets, investment. So everything is represented by the word resource. And planning can be the planning of how to run the business, or in SAP S4HANA sales and sourcing and procurement and production, it can refer to material requirements planning with sales order dependent requirements and plant independent requirements of the materials. SAP SE is a software company that owns and develops enterprise software applications along with its software support to the businesses of all sizes globally. It was initially started in 1972 by 5 former IBM employees. Its headquarters is in Waldorf, Germany, but its subsidiaries are located all around the world. SAP S4HANA is the fourth major release made by SAP SE in 2015. S4 represents fourth generation and HANA represents HANA database. That's why it is called SAP S4HANA. Before SAP S4HANA release, there were the following major releases. SAP R2 in 1979 used to run on mainframe. Then in 1992, SAP R3, which gives an introduction of three-tier architecture, that is client, application, and database. Then SAP ERP in 2004 became the part of a larger ERP family, that is SAP Business Suite. Then finally in 2015 we got SAP S4HANA, and its backend application layer runs on SAP HANA database, while the front-end application runs on SAP Fiori, which is developed with SAP UI5. SAP UI5 is actually a JavaScript application framework designed to build cross-platform responsive enterprise-ready applications. I will demonstrate you the roadmap for SAP S4HANA Business Suite, which will be quite handful for you to understand further how actually this SAP S4HANA Business Suite evolved. So in 2011, SAP HANA database managed to gain attraction in the market as an in-memory platform after its release in 2010. Then in 2012, SAP Business Warehouse powered by HANA was introduced to support real-time analysis, and real-time reporting was introduced. Just before I go further, just wanna explain a little bit on SAP HANA database. SAP S4HANA can run only on SAP HANA database because it is natively built on SAP HANA. So it inherits all the capabilities of this powerful in-memory data management, in-column-oriented tables, multi-core processors, and application platform. Then in 2013, SAP Business Suite powered by SAP HANA was introduced that supported real-time business SAP HANA Enterprise Cloud for SAP Business Suite on SAP HANA, and OLAP and OLTP, which I will explain you in the next slide. In a traditional database design, OLTP and OLAP are separated from each other. Its abbreviation is Online Transaction Processing and Online Analytical Processing. In other words, a database model was either built for OLTP optimization or OLAP optimization, but not both. So SAP HANA database supports both OLTP and OLAP processing, and we do not need to move the transactional data to a separate system, which is actually a time consuming for the users. The same table in SAP HANA runs both transactional and analytical applications, and so the data is available in real time at every level of detail. So how SAP HANA database is getting benefit from these two different database design? I will compare this with a traditional database. The traditional database was either built for OLTP optimization or OLAP optimization, but not both. So it brings unnecessary complexity. That is, 3 different copies of data in different data models, such as transactions, analysis, and acceleration processes, separated. And in between these 3 different copies of data, there is a process of ETL, which is the abbreviation of extend, transfer, and load. So in a traditional database, due to 3 copies of data in different data models, there were unnecessary complexity and inherent data latency. What is data latency? Data latency is a delay before a transfer of data begins following an instruction for its transfer, or the data first needed to be extracted and loaded to a reporting system. And there is poor innovation leading to wastage. So the idea or vision of SAP HANA originates from here. A database which is the merge of both OLTP and OLAP database designs, or can handle both OLTP and OLAP processing from a single data model. In SAP HANA database, there is one individual copy of data for transactions, analysis, all in memory. That eliminates unnecessary complexity and latency, as we do not need to move transactional data to a separate system, and transactional and analytical applications run off the same tables. Therefore, data is available in real time at every level of detail. There should be less hardware to manage, and there is acceleration or speed through innovation, simplification, all in memory. So in short, unlike other relational database management system, SAP HANA reduces the memory usage factor by 10 and improves performance by combining OLAP and OLTP into a single structure in its column-oriented storage. The speed of both OLTP and OLAP has been drastically changed with the design of SAP HANA. So that was the explanation for OLAP and OLTP, which are necessary for you if you want to work on SAP S4HANA. So I will continue with the roadmap on Introduction to SAP S4HANA. In 2014, SAP Simple Finance powered by SAP HANA was introduced for instant financial insight, no aggregates, and single source of data. That is compatibility views for reporting. In the spirit of one single data model and one single source of truth, a new table, AC DOCA, for the Universal Journal as a single of truth has also been introduced in SAP S4HANA, and I will explain universal journal in one of our upcoming lectures. In 2015, SAP S4HANA Business Suite was introduced, which brings simplified data model through the universal journal, which is a single source of truth. In SAP S4HANA Business Suite, new user experience with SAP Fiori user interface. SAP Fiori is a cloud user interface which was introduced with SAP S4HANA Business Suite. Advanced processing, multi-tenancy. What is multi-tenancy? Multi-tenancy functionality of SAP HANA database where one instance of SAP S4HANA can be shared by multiple customers or multiple companies, but each company's data or database is isolated and remains invisible to other customers. Next is choice of deployment. There are three choices of deployment for SAP S4HANA: on-premise, cloud, and hybrid. I will explain this into the next slide. So as I explained in the previous slide, there are three choices of deployment, and they are on-premise deployment, cloud deployment, and hybrid deployment. What is on-premise deployment? As its name suggests, SAP S4HANA is deployed in an organization's own data center in one or more of its sites. It will have full control over the system, its implementation, configuration, and the ability to make modifications, and can also license the software. The internal IT team in the organization can manage security and governance and can maintain the software with any applicable enhancement packs and hotfixes, and most importantly can choose the timing of implementing any upgrades. SAP system normally upgrades its system twice a year or once a year, so it can choose the timing of implementing any upgrades. Normally, if it is not on-premise deployment, so organizations have to follow the fixed timing when SAP releases any upgrade, so that it doesn't have any option but to go with that release date. But with on-premise deployment, the organization can choose the timing of implementing any upgrade. It is also possible for the organization to be remained on the same database if it does not want SAP HANA database, which is the requirement of SAP S4HANA Business Suite. But this needs an evaluation, as that organization will not be able to take much advantage of the new development, which relies on the in-memory capabilities of SAP HANA database. The next is cloud deployment. In the cloud deployment option, an organization is now able to run its software or entire enterprise in the cloud with a digital core that includes finance, controlling, sales, procurement, manufacturing, etc. The cloud edition of SAP S4HANA can be adopted by the existing and new organizations via a simple subscription model. As a full SaaS model, the pricing of the software varies as it follows a subscription model. What features an organization requires and what features it do not require, the price of the software license depends on that. There are two types of cloud deployment. Number one, private cloud deployment, and number two, public cloud deployment. What is the difference in between these two types of cloud deployment? So in private cloud deployment, the organization has got a dedicated server and in public cloud deployment, it is a shared server. As I explained previously, it's like a multi-tenancy functionality for SAP HANA database. Application and governance rules can be managed by the organization. And in public cloud deployment, it follows a SaaS model. SaaS is the abbreviation of software as a service, where SAP manages both the application and infrastructure. Business processes can be configured, however, the modifications are not allowed. And in public cloud deployment, there is a standard configuration and modifications are also not allowed. In private cloud deployment, different release timing for new versions for SAP, just like on-premise deployment option, which we have just discussed. Fixed release timing updated on the latest innovations and lower overall total cost of ownership. So SAP provides the fixed date for its new release versions. So in public cloud deployments, the organizations have to go with the new release according to those dates which SAP has provided. So that's a difference in between private cloud deployment and public cloud deployment. There can be other points as well, but I have mainly highlighted those points which are necessary for you to know. The third deployment choice is hybrid deployment. The hybrid deployment option is basically the combination of both on-premise and cloud deployment options. The example can be an organization which has on-premise deployment for its software, and it is also running remote sales offices, subsidiaries, or mergers and acquisitions in the cloud with an integration into his on-premise system for consolidated reporting purposes. The existing SAP customers can have both choices of on-premise and cloud deployment with SAP S4HANA Business Suite. Next, here is the product portfolio of SAP S4HANA or business applications of SAP S4HANA that I have already showed you in the first lecture. There are also some industry-specific solutions provided by SAP S4HANA Business Suite. First, SAP Ariba. It is the procurement and supply chain solution which is integrated with SAP S4HANA Finance and SAP S4HANA Sourcing and Procurement. Second is SAP Concur. It is a cloud-based system providing travel and expense management services to the businesses. It is integrated with SAP S4HANA Finance and SAP S4HANA Sourcing and Procurement. SAP Hybris. It is an e-commerce product platform for customer experience and management, and it is a solution for sales, marketing, and service, commerce, and billing, and it is integrated with sales, marketing, and service. SAP Fieldglass. It is another cloud-based vendor management system to manage services, procurement, and external workforce management program, and it is integrated with SAP S4HANA Sourcing and Procurement and Human Resources. Finally, SAP SuccessFactors. It is cloud-based software for human capital management and is integrated with SAP S4HANA Human Resources. Now, if you want to know the history of releases or versions for SAP S4HANA Business Suite, that is on-premise and cloud, and also would like to know if SAP S4HANA Sales is available in both on-premise and cloud. So yes, SAP S4HANA Sales is available in both on-premise and cloud versions. Now I would show you the roadmap for SAP S4HANA on-premise releases. So the first version was introduced back in 2015 as SAP S4HANA Finance 1503, and SAP has released 2 versions in a year until 2017. And you can see that in 2017 there was only one version released, and then in 2018 it was 1809, then 1909. So in the versions 1709, the first two digits represent the year and the last two digits represent the month. As you can see that 2017 version was released in September 2017, and the same 2018 version was released in September 2018. Then in 2020, the new nomenclature was introduced by SAP for the version as 2020. So it was switched from year and month to year only. As you can see, 2020, and then 2021, then 2022. And SAP is continuously introducing new innovation in its new releases. Now I would demonstrate you the cloud versions of SAP S4HANA Business Suite. The first SAP S4HANA cloud version was released in March 2016 as 1603. And here is the roadmap for the cloud version, which you can view. So there were 4 releases in a year, and the latest version was released back in 2022, and the first 2 digits represent the year and the last 2 digits represent the month in which the version was released. And SAP is continuously introducing new innovation in its SAP S4HANA cloud releases, just like SAP S4HANA on-premise releases. Now, if you would like to know that which version I will be using in this training course, then we can check that if we navigate under the top menu System and then Status, and then click on this button Details against this field Product Version, and then go to the tab Installed Product Versions. And here you can see that we are using S4HANA on-premise release as 2021 with SAP Fiori for S4HANA, that is also 2021. So now I will briefly explain you the SAP S4HANA key benefits, which we have discussed in our previous slides. The key benefits of SAP S4HANA Business Suite are fast or accelerated performance due to SAP HANA database and its in-memory technology, in column-oriented tables, and multi-core processes. Single source of truth, introduction of universal journal and compatibility views, and SAP HANA database combines both OLTP and OLAP from a single data to make SAP S4HANA one single source of truth. The vision of SAP S4HANA is that transactions, analysis, and acceleration are combined. Then simplification by removal of redundancy. How? By eliminating index and aggregate tables. It is simply recording all business transactions as they happen, and everything else is being calculated on the fly by algorithms on the data. It has got user-friendly interface, SAP Fiori as new user experience to process and analyze day-to-day business transaction. It also allows to access information remotely through mobile or iPad. It's got cost-effective. Businesses can subscribe to those cloud capabilities and services which they need in order to reduce their license fee. Innovation. The businesses which use SAP S4HANA can get the benefit of rapidly changing technology and future innovation. This will increase its chances to increase its revenues by adopting the latest technologies and staying ahead of their competitors. Choice of deployment: on-premise, cloud, and hybrid, which we discussed in detail in our previous slides.